What's up, your ILUS Army and Moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to cover ILUS, ticker symbol ILUS, why it was down for last few days, and why we have seen 25% spike up just in today's trading session. Not only that, we have seen 9 to 10x volume, and we are seeing a massive jump in volume. If you take a look right now, the average volume for ILUS used to be 13.6 million, whereas today's volume is 111 million. So why this massive volume is? What caused ILUS to drop? Take a look. For 5 days, we are down 17%. For 1 month, we are down 46%. If you take a look further for 1 month, we were down almost 69 to 70% from this high of 35 cents to all the way 11 cents we just got back down. For last 5 days, we are massive down as well. If you take a look from 18 cents to we have seen 11 cents, which is 42.44%. So why the dip and why we are up today? I'll be covering some of the very juicy and important information in this particular video. ILUS has shared some of these updates today, which caused some of the spike that you have seen. Not only that, NASDAQ was up 2.53% or 350 points today. S&P was up 1.58%. Dow Jones was up 1.22%. However, ILUS announced their share structure update. They have also announced the funding that they received for $15 million from 3 funders, and which is going to help them in their growth, acquisition, and merger that they're looking forward to do. Their Twitter is full of news at the moment that they have announced the firefighting equipment distributor, Georgia, that announced the acquisition of the first US acquisition completed, the $15 million funding. On the top of that, they provided share structure update on February 14th, and they have also announced some of the revenue expectations that they're expecting 44 to 50 million quarter-over-quarter revenue, which is adding up a ton more, and we have seen the spike. I'll go in more detail, but in return, I just wanted to ask you if you can hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That will be super helpful. I put a ton of energy, effort, and my time in building this video and giving back to the community, and in return, all you need to do, and by the way, it's for free, just hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if today is your lucky day for whatever reason, you can hit that link in the description below for Patreon. It's $4.99 a month. It'll be a super helpful for the growth of this channel. You can get access to private Discord. You can talk to me directly and many like-minded people. We talk about a ton of OTC, PennyStocks, and cryptocurrency, as well as some growth stocks, and we have been pretty successful YouTube channel. So help us help you, support the channel, and let's get right into it. ILUS stock was down, as I just mentioned, in 5 days, 17%, 1 month, 45%. Why it is down? If you notice, many penny stocks and OTC stocks were down last few days as well. Some of the reasons, given that there is some of the FUD going on at the international level. The Ukraine situation is getting severe day by day, which is causing some of the uncertainty at the international level. On the top of that, the inflation concerns within the United States is massive as well. It's not slowing down at the moment. What we have seen getting better is the pandemic situation across the globe. However, the Fed decided that they're going to raise as high as 4 times the rate hikes in 2022, which is causing concerns not only in the stock market, but also in the cryptocurrency. Also, Fed is looking to taper the bond buying program, which is going to also make some adverse impact into the stock market. First and foremost, you need to know that when inflation is high, all this profitability that the company is looking towards is going to make less and less impact in terms of the monetary value. So inflation, international situation, the bond tapering, and you can also say the rate hikes concerns are causing some of the turbulence that you have seen in the market. But the important thing is market got back and ILUS has some of this news, and we have seen the impact on the stock price. So I'll be going through all this news real quick in next few minutes, so you don't really have to go through them one by one. Here I am sharing with you some of the most important, juicy, and very impactful information about ticker symbol ILUS International. First, we want to begin with the share structure, which is right here that they announced that given that the current amount of ILUS's outstanding share is 1.26 billion and the company is currently looking to process some and reduce some of this outstanding share as high as 180 million, which is going to be pretty impactful for the stock. If you take a look at OTCmarkets.com, the market cap with 138 million US dollars, you can see that the authorized shares are 2 billion, which is a massive amount of shares. With that, the outstanding share is 1.2 billion, which ILUS is working on, and the float is 342 million. Note that with all this growth, ILUS is not expecting any stock dilution, that their CEO confirmed as well. This will be completed, this reduction of outstanding shares that they're looking to complete in upcoming days and weeks by updating previously announced cancellation of 40 million shares, which will leave them with 140 million additional shares that they want to reduce based on what their CEO Nicholas Link mentioned in terms of the common shares to a preferred share category. Now, ILUS also confirmed that they're issuing 3 blocks of restricted shares and completed acquisition that they will be using for this M&A, merger and acquisition, which will be in the region of 1.2 billion and will continue effort to get to the outstanding shares as close as to 1 billion, as I just mentioned. ILUS is considering options to offer shareholders an opportunity to lock up the shares in a preferred category, which will be further reducing companies' outstanding shares. As their CEO said, following up with the completion of several acquisition, confirmation of 2 significant funding arrangements that I'll go in more detail in next couple of minutes, and the stimulation that is going on, tough market conditions at the moment, the turbulence and what we just talked about, why the stock is down, the company said we felt that it's important to keep our shareholder updated with our current share structure. As mentioned in our annual shareholder meeting currently, our immediate goal is to offer completion of the current round of acquisition and get the outstanding shares as close down to 1.2 billion, and they're on track to achieve that share structure update very, very soon. Company also mentioned that we remain committed and do not really only building ILUS as a merger and acquisition company, but also ensuring that we are creating further value for our shareholders in this process. While the market conditions remain challenging, we're more confident than ever that the business plan and what they have created so far is sustainable business. And I totally agree with that, because whatever has changed at the moment is company's fundamental and structure has become more and more strong. We have seen due to the spin-off, they're going to get listed and uplisted on NASDAQ. They're going to keep 50 to 80% stake in each of the subsidiary companies, and they're booking massive revenue quarter over quarter, year by year with their plan. What they're expecting in 2022 is massive. Now, the second update I want to share with you that the company has also received $15 million in funding from these 3 funders, which is massive because this fund can be used for their growth, merger, and acquisition. Merger and acquisition company focused on acquiring and developing public safety technology based across the globe. Now, you want to remember that the fire mist technology is one of a kind patented technology that ILUS has. They have started their footprint in EMEA, in European region, and they have started acquiring more companies, and one of the big astronomical deal that involves 1,300 employee. We do really want to see more on that, but the phase 1 is almost completed, as company mentioned. We'll have some of the phase 1 updates and some of the press release in upcoming days, upcoming weeks. ILUS confirmed that it has now recently signed 3 funding deals for a total of $15 million, putting the company in a strong cash position. Now, what this means is the company will not have to do any stock dilution, which is the great news for the shareholders. And company in position to execute their current plans, move on to the next phase of opportunity, acquire more and more smaller companies that are within the realm. And what the company ILUS is doing is they're acquiring companies with proven track record, with the profitability that the companies already have proven in past few quarters and years. They're acquiring them, putting their revenue in ILUS's book of business. They really want to do the spin-off and want to get uplisted on NASDAQ. Following the extensive period of this due diligence company conducted with these funders, ILUS secured $15 million funding from the syndication of 3 funds and family offices who are typically focused on funding high-growth technology companies, which is massive. Now, who are these 3 companies? The first one is RB Capital, you already know. The second one is Discover Fund, and the third one is Lucky Ventures. There is no dilution. This is the keywords or key jargon that you really want to focus on. There is no stock dilution coming, so no dilution is taking place due to this funding, which was secured through the fully repayable 1-year term non-toxic promissory notes. And this funding also includes a cash warrant options for a further $6 million should ILUS require it, which means if they acquire more and more profitable companies, these three companies are, or one of this company, they are willing to lend more money to ILUS as a company, and this is not a stock dilution. ILUS confirmed that these are first to draw down tranches, that funding will have already been received by the third tranche being received next week. The funding will also be used by ILUS to expand its operations, streamline production, ramp up marketing, completing the next round of acquisitions, which is amazing, where ILUS is focusing on acquisition with the high value technology, patented technology, their growth in manufacturing, own distribution channel, sales, and the whole pipeline. In addition, over the next quarter, some of the funding will be used to remove GPL Ventures, which is a very good news as well, which is GPL Venture is a debt and completely removed from their note holder from the company itself. Although the non-toxic, the ILUS management understands that the shareholders would have more comfort knowing that the debt is being removed once this is executed. ILUS have reached out to an agreement with GPL to sell this debt on a suitable terms, and this debt is being settled out in the current phase of funding. The first funder, RB Capital, is very well known in the OTC and public market. You already know RB Capital also mentioned that after meeting with the ILUS leadership, they believe in the company itself. The Discover Fund, which is a second funder, it is also a well-known fund in the board markets such as NASDAQ, so on and so forth, and they write much larger check with their initial investment in ILUS. And the third one is Lucky Venture, which is lesser known company, a small boutique family office, which particularly is active into the private sector, which is once again a massive news that ILUS is adding some of the newer companies into the mix. The company, which also has been working closely with ILUS for some time, usually offers tailored medium to long-term finance in the $5 million range. Now, their CEO mentioned that this round of funding is important primarily because it will drive forward the aggressive growth and acquisition strategy that ILUS has, and because of this significant removal of the GPL debt, it is going to be pretty impactful for the shareholder. So the shareholder will get a ton of benefit once this debt is removed from the book of business. Their business balance sheet is going to look pretty strong. Their cash component is going to look a lot more stable. The company is working on reducing that 40 million shares we talked about. That will put them at 140 million more shares to get wiped off very, very soon. And the company is following up with the preferred and restricted shares when they do merger and acquisition. So there is no stock dilution coming up that you want to focus on. With the company mentioned that we remain focused on protecting the best interest of our shareholders and our long-term sustainability, which is going to be pretty massive. So I just wanted to share this information with you. Now, with that, we also want to note that the bigger concern that many people have is 2 billion authorized shares, that we are going to get some updates on that as well once we get more updates around the outstanding shares and their float. So that's the key. But what you want to notice is the volume today. Today's volume of 111 million. Out of that, let's check out what is the short volume. The short volume today is 22.58 short volume ratio, which means when we see almost 111 million total FINRA volume, only 25 million was the short volume, or the short sellers were pretty negligible or not really way high. Where we have seen on 9th of February, our short volume ratio was 43.34. which dropped down to 34.35, day after 27.23, one day after 24, and given that we have such a high volume, we are only seeing 22.58, which is once again a positive or bullish sign for ILUS. So that's what I just wanted to point out. On the top of that, you want to see that how the volume spiked up. We were looking into 10 to 20 million in terms of volume, bumped up to 31, 22, 10 million back, 31. We went to 52 million on February 14th, and we doubled once again to 111 million today. Given that the massive news that came, an announcement just came out from ILUS, the market was good. It was all the positive pointers that spiked the price up for ILUS, and we have seen the low of 9 to 10 cents. We went up to almost 14-15 cents, and we were closed at 0.1410, so a little over 14 cents you want to focus on. If you take a look, we are still not out of the danger zone at the moment. If you see right here, we were at 11 cents that we have not seen for a long time. We have seen 11 cents last year in the month of September 8th, so the first week. Right after that, we spiked up all the way to 45 cents. And we want to see that. We want to safely go about 18 cents before we start talking about some of the bullish pattern into this particular stock. But what you want to see is right here, this green juicy candle that shows a really good buying volume that spiked the price up, and our RSI is still under control of 33. That suggests not an overbought, not an oversold condition for ILUS. The MACD is not really stunning at the moment, but it's going to get better as we progress towards into the positive territory. I don't really want to say that where the stock can go. Now, this video is only for the entertainment purposes, so you do your own due diligence. At the end of the day, it's a high risk, high reward. It can fluctuate either way. We have seen the massive deep as well, 65-70% deep, and we have seen some massive spike as well from 5 cents to 50 cents. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is in penny stocks, you can make 2x, 3x, 5x, even 10x return, and ILUS is a great example. On the flip side, you can lose 50, 60, 70% as well. So don't invest the money that will wake you up at night. Only invest the money that you're willing to lose and you want to sleep like a baby. And think about yourself when you invest in penny stocks. You don't really want to exceed more than 6, 7, 8% of your entire portfolio. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you protect, diversify your portfolio. I'm here to share this information with you, hoping you can make informed financial decision. Given that once we are getting above this 18 cents, we want to see 22 to 23 cents, which was a stronger support back in the days. And we'll talk more about the MACD and the moving average, because the moving average right now is 28 cents while we are at 14 cents. So there's a vast difference, or the variance or delta between the moving average and the current price point of 2x. That also means if the market condition stables out, if the international condition works out better, as an example, Europe or the Ukraine and Russia situation gets better, if we have more certainty into the market, if pandemic tries to release their pressure upon the market as well, and if Fed is not talking too much about the rate increase, and if they say like instead of 4, we'll do 2 rate increase, that will also spike the market. And I do believe that it'll impact the OTC stocks and some of the stocks like ILUS, CYBL, HCMC, and some of the big bets that we have on this channel. With that, I just wanted to ask once again if you can hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.